How's it going, everyone? Eric here again. Today is the 15th of December 2020. This is an opening trade alert for AMD. I sold the 85 put in the January 15th expiration window, which is 31 days away. And I collected a credit of $1.52 per contract. Let's check out the trade tab real quick. As usual, I'm looking at the 30 to 60 day expiration window with no weeklies. We are quickly approaching the 30-day window here, so I went with the 31-day on January 15th, just trying to stay active the last couple days before this expiration cycle ends. I then sold the 85 strike here for $1.52. Looks like it's gone down just a couple of pennies here in the last 15 minutes. This leaves me with an 81% pop, 88% P50. My max profit is $150 per contract because that's what you're collecting right now. My max loss theoretically would be $8,350 if AMD went to zero and I was assigned shares. And then the buying power effect for AMD is a relatively low $850 per contract. Selling a naked put is an undefined risk trade. If you want to define your risk because you don't like being exposed like that, or if you have a smaller account, which I highly recommend. In my opinion, anything under about $10,000 is kind of considered a small account, certainly anything under $5,000. So if you want to define your risk, you just need to purchase a protective wing for your naked put and turn it into a vertical spread. When I do vertical spreads or iron condors, I do 5-point wide spreads almost every single time. So if that's the case here, I would go up here and buy the 80 put as protection. When I sell spreads, I like to collect at least $1. This is only getting 76 cents. All that means is that I need to be slightly more aggressive with my strikes to collect more premium. So if we bump this to the 87.5 and 82.5, there you go, you collect $1.02. AMD is a nice liquid ticker here with only $1 and then 103 here as the spread. So only 3-cent wide spread, which is great on a $96 stock. I'm not sure I've mentioned it before, but really liquidity is one of the top factors in determining whether or not you want to sell options for a stock, because if you don't have enough liquidity, you're not going to be able to get filled at a good price. You're not going to be able to get in and or out of a position at a spot that you want to be at, right? So the tighter the bid-ask spread, the more liquid a stock is, and AMD is pretty much always liquid. Right now the bid-ask is only about 3 cents wide on a 2-leg vertical spread, which is awesome. If you were just going to try to sell one of these, this is only 2 cents wide and this is only 1 cent wide. So you put those together and you end up with a 3-cent wide spread down here. Anyways, going for slightly more aggressive strikes for this vertical spread, you're 5 points wide here, and you're at the 87.5 instead of the 85, so you're 250 higher. You end up with a 74% pop instead of like 81. The P50 is 84%. Your max profit right now is 101 because you're collecting 101. Let's lock that in. Your max loss would be 399 because you have a 5-point wide spread. You collect $101. 5 minus 101, or 500 minus 101 is 399 is your max loss. And then that also equals your buying power effect of $399. These two will be locked in comparison to an undefined risk trade where these fluctuate based on the underlying stock price and other factors. These values will both be locked in as now you have a defined risk trade. That's the whole point, right? All right, I guess we can take a look at the chart real quick, even though I didn't really do much technical analysis on this one. One quick note before we do that, I have a low buying power effect watch list here. The other day I mentioned I sort by IV rank percent and then kind of go down the list. That's mostly true. However, AMD is a ticker that I tend to trade more often, so I kind of gravitate towards that way. AMD is kind of low here, just 14 on the IV rank percent, in comparison to the top, which is at 33.1 in First Solar, but I already had a position there. And then for various reasons with earnings or just I didn't like where the stocks were at and or just being lazy, I just kind of went down here to AMD and went with something that I am familiar with and more comfortable with. And again, the IV rank percent is definitely not a be all end all. It's just if you sell something at a high IV rank, that's a good thing, because when the IV rank goes down, that is in your favor as a seller, because that affects how much the option price goes for. When there's a higher IV rank, you can collect more premium for the same strike, whereas when there's a lower rank, you collect less premium for the same strike. So anyways, it's all personal preference really. You'll eventually have your own watch list full of stocks that you like to trade options on, and you'll get comfortable with a few stocks and just roll with your own system. Anyways, let's take a quick look at the chart here to see where I stand when I open this trade. Like I said before, I didn't put too much technical analysis into this one other than just going for a ticker that I like to trade. I opened here today on the 15th of December 2020. When I opened, the underlying stock price was around 96.50, and it's still basically right there. AMD is technically up about 2% from yesterday, but that's mostly due to a little gap up here in the morning, and then it's slowly crept higher. Typically when I sell puts, I like to sell more on a couple down days. It would have been ideal to sell right about here. However, I'm just trying to stay active here in the last 31 days of this January expiration cycle, so I just decided to roll with AMD. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if this pushes back down here towards this 20-day moving average blue line. The 50 moving average is right here too. So those two moving averages combined make a nice support level here for my position, which is great. Also, the $85 mark here seems to have real strong support and resistance in the past. It acted as resistance for quite a while here. It hit it once, twice, blew through, came back, third time, fourth time, fifth time. Now we're finally up, and it seems like we have finally broken that cycle. And it came back to test it and then bounced off the 20-day moving average, which is a good sign to see for a longer uptrend here. And then the only other thing is if you're looking at an Elliott wave, if I would draw it on here real quick, you would have a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is up here around $105. And then lastly, the RSI is definitely approaching the overbought near the top here. And then MACD is kind of peaked out too, but the reality is these can just kind of trickle on for a long time and you just kind of move sideways even though you're at the very tops of them, right? And then lastly, AMD is well above the red line here, which is the 200-day moving average, and that signals a good uptrend too. Not that you can have shorter downtrends within that uptrend, but I just want AMD to stay above the 85 put that I sold, so it can go up, it can go sideways, and it can come down a little bit. And as long as it stays above there for the next 31 days, I'm good to go, and I will cash out at roughly 50% of my max profit. So that'd be about $76 per contract. I think that covers everything on the technical analysis. Like I said, I didn't really go into it that much here, even though I talked longer than I thought it would. The bottom line is AMD is a ticker I've traded in the past and I like to trade. I personally feel that the current trend is either neutral or up, and so selling a put bodes well for that kind of setup. I'll keep you posted when I close this trade, hopefully for a profit, or if I have to roll it to the next month because it goes against me. Either way, I'll let you know. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video.